UNOC, we believe in safety.
Musumba Ezekiel okuva Kenya, musajja wa Katonda, Mukama amukozesa mujje mu crusade egenda okubeera ekirombe, manye obulamu bwammwe tebugenda kusigala kyekimu.
Uganda, are you ready for the biggest revival explosion? New Repair Center and the Church presents a revival healing crusade by pastor and an international evangelist, Ezekiel from Kenya.
Shine, 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 you shine and you shine, and just in the name of Jesus.
It will be held from 13th to 17th August 2025 at Zambia Chirombe Grounds, Kampala. Time 8 a.m. Come and take your miracle.
Mwenna abantu b'ekirombe, mwenna abali awo mujje mu lukuŋŋaana. The Lord will seriously bless you.
All you are welcome.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
This August, East Africa becomes the center of African football. CHAN 2024 is here, and it's bigger than ever. 3 proud nations, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, united by football, passion, and power. From the first whistle to the final roar, 35 thrilling matches, live, only on UBC TV and radio stations. Wherever you are in Uganda, from the city to the village, UBC brings CHAN 2024 to your screen and your radio. August 2nd to August 30th, it's football like never before. 1 tournament, 1 region, 1 heartbeats. CHAN 2024, live on UBC. Feel the game, live the glory.
The stage is set, the teams are ready, and your voice could be the difference. Come wave your flag, sing your song, and back your favorite team as they battle for glory in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship 2024, right here on home soil.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
This is Good Morning Uganda Extra indeed. Welcome back from Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie Nantaba Mosisi, and this morning we are looking at the 11th UNESCO Africa Engineering Week as well as the 9th African Engineering Conference, and in particular advancing engineering for Africa's development. The conference and the UNESCO Engineering Week will be taking place on the 14th to 20th of September. And to have this conversation with me are two amazing gentlemen. One is Engineer Dr. Abraham Mwanguzi, Team Lead Policy and Planning at STI OP, and Engineer Henry Mpuga, who is the Vice President, Membership Education and Training UIPE Chairperson, as well as the AEW Innovation Forum. Welcome, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you, Julie.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you both. And it's a pleasure to have you viewing UBC TV, always inspiring Uganda and bringing conversations that are pertinent to you, especially if you are a career person. If you are an engineer, if you are interested in engineering, if this is a field that you have a lot of interest in, I think this is a moment for you to engage. 0709 602 592. It's a WhatsApp number. You can text it and share your opinion or ask your question. And as we delve straight into it, I'll start with Engineer Henry, who is my immediate neighbor, and just ask him what exactly this event is and the significance of this event on the engineering calendar.
Thank you, Julie, for this opportunity. I want to greet the viewers. Good morning, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Engineer Henry Mpuga, the Vice President, Membership Education and Training. This event of the 11th UNESCO Africa Engineering Week and the 9th African Engineering Conference, these two are landmark events which are supposed to elevate the role of engineering on the Africa's continent. So it is intentional that these two landmark events are aligned to the UNESCO Engineering Report, which basically brings out the basic research, the basic sciences, research, innovation, and engineering. So it is intentional that during the 11th UNESCO Africa Engineering Week and the 9th African Engineering Conference, we look at celebrating African engineering excellence. That is the first item we look at. And in this case, we are looking at during the 14th to 20th September, we look at bringing different stakeholders. You know, engineering solves almost 90% of the world's problems. And during that conference, or the Africa Engineering Week, we look at bringing various stakeholders. We have Ministerial Forum, where we have to engage the policymakers on how they have to integrate the engineering profession to see how we can develop engineering beyond what is actually hindering us to take it forward. Now, the other thing, we have the CEOs Forum, we have the round table for the water utility, we have the round table for the energy, we have the Young Engineers Forum and the Future Leaders Forum, to bring them on board to understand that even as they're in school, they have a journey to move. So many times we are being crucified saying that the engineering happening in Africa, it's more on consumption basis. But this has changed. So this conference and the Africa Engineering Week is to change the narrative, whereby we expect various secondary schools to come on board. We have included them because we are looking at the value chain. The young people down there, we are promoting STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in school. We have a competence-based curriculum. But now if these are not exposed to see what they study, the science they do in secondary school, what it can create as an impact, then, so we are also looking at shaping policies that can foster innovation and resilience. So we are looking at a situation now. The unfortunate bit is that we may be engineers who are very technical, but again, if we are not involved in policy formulation, then it's going to actually affect us. There are many times where, as the Vice President membership, where we are looking at Uganda Institutional Professional Engineers as a membership body, the members will ask what is the benefit we have in the institution. But now, here comes the point that as much as we have laid the foundation to train them from their universities, we have taken them through trainings, but then that's not enough if the job market is actually infiltrated by either experts from out of the country. Reason being that maybe our education is not aligned to solve practical problems. So we are looking at shaping policies, coming up with frameworks, and interacting with the policy makers during the Africa Engineering Week. That is the intention. Then the other one, capacity building in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So it is very intentional that during that time we have to have the young people exhibiting their innovations, and maybe to the viewers, we just need to understand that innovation is a journey, and I'm grateful that STI is supporting us to make sure that this innovation forum comes out with a great impact even beyond the conference itself. Here comes a point that we are looking at innovation from the ideation to the market journey. So you find that we claim to have innovations at ideation stage. So during this conference, we are going to demystify and bring reality to the young people to understand the journey of innovation. But the other thing maybe, as I try to put that to end, we need also to understand that this conference, or the Africa Engineering Week, is looking at a very serious theme, leveraging engineering innovations. Engineering innovation is quite very important. Doing engineering and appreciating the engineering principles is one thing, and also getting a qualification, but engineering innovation is quite very important. We are looking at what we can improve using the principles and the science we have acquired. The other thing, as we leverage on the engineering innovations, we have also to look at the technologies. We are transiting from now 4.0. Now other countries are talking about 5.0, where they are talking about human-centric. They are now trying to bring robotics on board. They are talking about sustainability. They are actually also talking about resilience to avoid any loss in this conference, reaching 5 serious sub-themes that are going to change the narrative of our thinking in the engineering fraternity. And if we touch the innovative engineering for industrialization, where we can actually witness, we have now automation coming in place, and then we are having manufacturing coming in place, and we do thank the developments taking place within the country due to the awareness now we are getting from STI. Then sustainable infrastructure and also urban development. We are looking at very, very intentional to protect the environment through the engineering innovations. We look at engineering in agriculture and food security. This is very, very key on the Africa's global component. Now, the other last one we are so very much intentional is engineering capacity building and education, because this one will actually change the narrative, and then we shall have parents really appreciating why education is quite very important, where we produce graduates who are able to actually contribute in terms of value to the industrialization. So I think viewers, that could give us why the Africa Engineering Week and the 9th African Engineering Conference is quite very important, and it's an opportunity as a country as Uganda institutional professional engineers that we really need to embrace, and we call everyone from secondary level, come and show, let the head teachers bring these young ones to Munyonyo on 14th, from 14th to 20th, to see, let us do not have inward, outward education approach. It has hit us by the time you graduate, even what you graduated with expired 5 years back, and then we find our graduates are exploited, and yet even the institution may not be able to do much. So we need to change the narrative in the engineering, capacity building, and education. Thank you.
Wow, that is a very profound background there, but I think my take home, for me, quite a lot of take homes, but one that I've picked, especially with having secondary school students at this event, is the fact that trips could now make more sense. A school tour or a school trip from school to an event such as this could make quite a lot of sense. But staying with you, Engineer Henry, let's also look, speaking to the impact of this event, 2025 moving forward. What more is the Federation envisioning from the impact of this event?
Thank you very much. Yes, when we talk about impact, we just have now to look at the journey. How do we take what we may call the call for action? So when you look at Federation Africa Engineering Organization, where the Uganda Institutional Professional Engineer subscribes as a member, but also subscribe to the World Federation, one thing we need to take here is that our vision as the institution, engineering excellence transforming the nation, it is similar to that of the Federation Africa Engineering Organization, which is advancing engineering excellence and sustainable development. Now, if you bring that together, take it to the Vision 2040 for our country, Uganda, you actually find there are similar indicators we are also looking at. But now when we look at the impact, what will happen? Now, we have brought in the young people. We had calls. First of all, we had calls for innovators. We have brilliant secondary schools. Students, actually, they applied to demonstrate the application of science in solving. I was surprised when we are trying to go through. So which means we have the young brains there, and we only need to create exposure. And the impact here, because of this exposure at Munyonyo, because of this Africa Engineer Mode, what actually they have. Then, so that is a long-lasting impact. So, meaning that this Africa Engineering Week, there are some pre-activities who have also applied, and they are more at a level of product development. They are going to be supported. So it's going to be a very serious impact, where we are going to see young people coming up with companies, because their innovations are going to be brought to life and into reality to be able to commercialize and employ Ugandans. So maybe lastly, I would like to see the impact here. We are also looking at a global component. Remember, Uganda is also intentional to enter the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And in that case, the negotiations are going on, and UIPE has been involved in such negotiations and also contributing to see how we can benefit. So if we are targeting a 1.3 billion people, a 1.3 billion market across, and we are looking at 54 member state countries, so this is an opportunity if we have all African countries into this conference, and then we forge a way forward on how we can now tap into free mobility of labor. So, and the institution is very intentional to make sure that we have a great number of registered engineers who can move from Uganda and do work in other African countries. So it's a serious impact, and to me, this is an opportunity, and it is timely, because we've been accused of consuming technology, and we feel that consuming technology of other countries without developing, without actually doing some bit of reverse engineering, without embracing adaptation. So really, this is going to change the narrative on the African continent. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Engineer Henry. You are watching UBC TV, and we are looking at advancing engineering for Africa's development. Two gentlemen in studio with me. Now let me allow Engineer Henry take some water as I come to you, Engineer Dr. Abraham Mwanguzi, and we'll look at the engineering profession, but also Africa's development. What does hosting the UNESCO Africa Engineering Week and Africa Engineering Conference 2025 mean for Uganda's engineering profession, but also its role on Africa's development narrative altogether?
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, viewers who are watching. Good morning, everyone from wherever you are. And yes, in Uganda hosting the Africa Engineering Week, what do you benefit? As we all know, engineering is the backbone of development in every economy. And as years go by, as people grow in taste, in what they like, even the things they like and the complexities of systems that have to deliver these also continues to change. And it is engineering that has to deliver on this. So by Uganda hosting this Africa Engineering Week, these trends are not only changing in Uganda, they are changing in Africa, they're changing all over the world.
Right.
And when we come together as Africans, we can be able to learn from one another. Because Africa, we are more so at the same level of development, though in different stages. For example, if you have a P5 child who needs to have a discussion on a number, I think a P6 child can teach them better, or a P7 child, than if he goes to someone in S6. The S6 is advanced, and these ones are getting there, and they can learn from them, but one who is closer to them and he has advanced at another step can teach them better. So by Africans coming together and we discuss the changing trends on our continent and in our different nations, we as engineers, we can be able to exchange knowledge and information and skills on how we can help out each other. For example, if you look at Nigeria has built a refinery, an oil refinery. And Uganda, we are also working towards building an oil refinery. I believe we can learn a lot of lessons from Nigeria than if we go to Norway. Because Norway, the dynamics are so different. They have all the money, the political economy is much better and different than ours. The human resources there, so the dynamics are different. When we go to Nigeria, the people are close, the political economy is close. So many things are similar. So, and that is just one example. Right. So when we come together and share these experiences which are within our same context, as engineers we are being sharpened and learning to come up with domestic solutions to problems that are going to address our needs and economies. And as Africa, when we come together, when we do this, we are now building a critical mass of thinkers and a critical network of engineers that are going to be able to support one another. Because I believe we can now tap into the knowledge of engineers from Nigeria before we start building our own refinery here. And that will be very good, because as we are working at integrating together. So at the national level, we are learning from one another and getting better experiences that will have domestic solutions because we live in a similar trend. And also at the African continent, we are coming up with a network that we can tap in of innovative and critical thinkers to be able to provide the solutions we need in this point in time.
Right, let's focus on the themes, sub-themes that we have, and looking at what Africa should focus on in your perspective amongst the sub-themes that we have, ranging from industrial growth to engineering education. Where should Africa focus mostly?
Thank you, Julie, for that question. I believe we're currently, to give it a global perspective, when we look at Africa's GDP contribution to the world GDP, we are standing at about 3%, and the manufacturing value added, how much value do we add to the resources we have in relation to the global perspective? It is only 2%. And when we look at the population we have currently, our GDP should have been at around 21.4 trillion. We are at 2. which is like 10% of where we should be. And that is all about the industrial growth level that we are experiencing now. So when we talk about the themes we have from industrial growth ranging into the engineering education, I believe that first of all we need to understand that industrial growth is a combination of many factors, especially the industrial policy of the country. This is in terms of what direction as a country or as a continent do we have in terms of meeting and driving the economic growth through industry, through industries. So this has many things. It has the technology, it has the funding, it has the policies in place, government interventions and all that, including human resource that we have for development. So when we look at industrial growth, it is a combination of all these factors and also human capital development, which is available at our disposal. So I don't think that at this point in time in Africa, we really have a choice of saying we pick one and leave the other. Because as I highlighted, our level of industrial value added is still so low to where we should be. And in order for us to be able to get to where we should, all these factors have to work together in order to drive this machinery, this big machinery. And one of the main components that is responsible for driving industrial growth, which is the human capital of a nation, I think it is also something we are handling in a way that is not proper, because when we are to look at industrial growth, we have to have innovative minds that can be able to think and reason, look at the problems which are available and provide practical solutions. That is what engineering is about. And this takes analytical minds which can think. What we are doing with our education system, we are focusing on achieving a certain target of success. At P7 we look at achieving the 4 and the 8, and so we are missing the mark of building this critical mass of people who are thinking and analytical. The government is trying to change it with a competence base, but when you look at the system, we are not yet there, because we think that having engineering skills is when you reach university, and then the lecturers start, engineers start now telling you do this. But these engineering skills will facilitate an innovative mind, which we kill from the beginning. I leave home in the morning, sometimes 5:30, and you see children on buses as young as 3, bundled in a taxi, in a coaster. They are going to school, they are tired, 2 hours on the road. By the time the child reaches, they are tired. They reach school, children as young as P1, P2, they are given homework. They are given weekend work. In the process of doing that, we are killing creativity and innovation. This mind does not have time to think through playing, through try and error, through doing what. We are channeling them into a system which is killing innovation. So by the time they reach at a point when they should get the engineering skills to facilitate innovation, the innovation component is dead. Then we say, universities are not teaching.
Yet the problem comes
Yet the problem is coming from nursery. Universities get a dead product. So by the time of adding the raw material to facilitate the innovation, it is not there. So we need to restructure that whole system and know that, as I said, the policy, if we want to have innovative mind, it has to start right from the time we set off. I think because innovation and technology development is a combination of technical skills and analytical skills. I think one of the things we did as a country, which has been spoken about in some forums, is closing down Chambogo Polytechnic College. That was turning it into a university. That was a big mistake, because we killed the technical raw material that we needed to support the analytical raw material that comes from university. The know-how of this is what you should do, and why you should do it has to come together. And and then you have technology development. And Kyambogo was the epicenter of all this technical upbringing. So do we need to choose which one from the other? We don't have that choice at the moment. We have to move these things together, develop the technical capacity, develop the analytical capacity right from the beginning, combine them together, have the engineers join with the people in Katwe, have standardized way of doing things to make sure that the technical output we are getting is going to be able to support the industrial growth we are talking about.
Right, thank you very much. We are looking at advancing engineering for Africa's development, and on the 14th to 20th September will be the 11th UNESCO Africa Engineering Week, as well as the 9th African Engineering Conference. Now somebody, Phillips from Karamoja, comes through and he shares a very interesting story, but he says, thank you for the show. I'm concerned of road engineers. Are they to be a part of that conference? Are they to participate? I think no engineer is left out, because he says, when I was a youth, the roads were well graded and raised above the ground to allow water flow sideways. And where there is need to put a culvert crossing the road, it was to level that allows the natural flow of water. These days, the engineers have culverts mount, risking drivers and riders. Roads have become valleys with high shoulders, so-called, and when it rains, the road becomes a river. What training do these engineers undergo? Is it a practice or an intention? That is why fatal accidents are rampant, especially in rural areas these days. Well, I wonder which of the two of you who would speak into it. Can I come to you, Engineer Henry?
Yeah, thank you very much. And that's some good feedback, and that is an observation.
All right.
But I think what we need to be doing, I think, to create awareness, the Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers has built a pipeline to build the capacity of the engineers, the graduates. So what is talking about their observations, and they may be in reality, but something is happening. And where maybe is standing, that may be happening, but in other places things have changed. So what we actually urge most of the graduates who do engineering from the university, as you exit, that may not be enough. So before you dive into the practice, we have a channel where you have to be given mentors as a graduate in the Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers. Even if you are a technician, you have a diploma, you have a higher diploma as a technologist, we always provide mentors. We have senior engineers in this country. So what we are failing to create as a gap, that as they exit from the university, everyone takes his or her own route and they begin to gamble on job. So some of those inefficiencies in engineering practice are just because people are not aware that they have to be built. The moment you leave the university, it is not a pass that you are ready to practice. You've qualified and you've got a degree, and we do thank you and you celebrate. But there is a journey every person has to take to be full, to be called an engineer. So what normally happens is that we attach mentors who have to take you through the 2 years and be given an opportunity. In UIP, we have the graduate training program where we attach various graduates in ministries. Then we also expose them to various challenges, and they are able to become upright. And at the end, they have good technical reports that can stimulate their thinking from the design up to implementation. So the feedback we've got, it is a feedback, but there is a mechanism to address that.
Right.
But we shouldn't also deny a fact that right from the university, it should be intentional that it's not in-house teaching. Let it also be field, such that to expose the graduates as early as possible before they come out. Sometimes it's very hard to catch up with the practice if they have not been exposed while in the university. Thank you.
Right. To stay with you, Engineer Henry, how can engineering innovations become the engine for socio-economic development, especially when it comes to the transformation across Africa?
Yeah, thank you very much. You've said how innovation, but the reality is without innovation you can't have the socio-economic transformation. So it is a reality. The only thing is that the way the word innovation came to us, it came to us in a theoretical form. And people think innovation requires you to have something new on board. But innovation, it basically moves, we do really appreciate that from ideation to prototype, it may happen more in the university where you have a lot of time to do exploratory research, to do a lot of reading. It's a back and forth. It can even take you 5 years for you to come up with a working prototype, which you can have and claim an intellectual property or utility model. So very good enough that URSP, the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, has really created awareness on how you can protect what you have created through education. And it's also a song where they are telling people in the universities that even before you publish, try to protect such that you can benefit. That could actually be a motivation. So when we look at innovation, we do really look at it as the only way we can move, because there is a lot we can improve. And I want to thank STI for having supported various innovators. We have success stories to talk about.
Yes, please
and
share
also,
them.
And also the Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers, through its mechanism, it has tried to tap from other partners, the Royal Engineering Academy, where we have got grants and we have supported young people in universities. We are focused on ladies to be innovative. I think they have moved the photos to see that we bring them on board, to appreciate that even when you know engineering principles and the science, what can you look at in the field and see what you can change? People have gone into the biogas and they have come up with the various, to see how they can reduce the hydrogen sulfide that comes with the biogas. So various students in universities have come up with that. We have support where students have been able to come up with free energy water pumps, and they have grown into companies and they are employing their young ones, their fellows. So without innovation, because in most cases if you graduate and what you only have is a framework, you have proposed a framework, who's going to consume a framework? So we are trying to fine-tune them that when you are still in school, try to graduate with something that can be a testimony of your time in the university. And this is what we are advocating for. So I'm looking at a situation that if I'm to tap graduates exiting every year and they have working prototypes and they have intellectual properties, then it is very easy to be helped on another stage where they have to move their prototype to a viable product and they go into product development. But unfortunately, we do not embrace this kind of innovation in school. And when you graduate and you only need to be given an opportunity in a company to work for 1 year and be appreciated in terms of operation and maintenance, which is okay, but would ideally go beyond consuming technology. So why innovation becomes very central, if you look at what is going on in the country, you are very much aware now we have deep tech. The country at its scale through STI, the electronics, they have to be coming up with the circuit boards, which is a very, very big component in most of the robotic industry and the automation in the manufacturing industry. Many things are coming up. Kila Motors has come up. Whatever percentage we are at, to say now we are busy, maybe at 25% to own what we are doing. But we all start with the point of partnership. So why innovation becomes very, very critical, it is the only way we can actually create and value our education when we graduate, where students are just actually moving into corporate formation, companies, and they are able to make money, such that parents should not again have another hustle, where you graduate and they begin to call uncles. They have to call other people. My daughter has graduated, my son has graduated. But if you graduate with it's very easy to market you and get partners to help you promote, move it from prototype to viable product, and maybe from that level, you will have now to get it from a viable product to a competitive stage, where now you are going even to make profits and break even, and even to mature brand, and then be able to have mergers and acquisitions.
Right.
So it is very, very intentional that without innovation, socio-economic development cannot occur. And I think STI, that is a focal point, and it is very intentional. Thank you.
Right.
May I add a little?
Yes,
briefly,
please.
On how engineering innovations can be made to transform socio-economic, the socio-economy.
Yes.
The main thing is to understand that engineering innovations, for them to make them workable, it takes a lot of money. So there is no doubt that government has to invest because private sector is profit-led. No one is going to spend 5 years in something because they think it is good for the country when they don't have food on the table.
Right.
So the government has to invest, number one, and the modality of investment in these in developing technologies has to change. The issue of saying we fund you for 1 year and we want an output, it doesn't work like that. Innovations take time, and there are many failures. We also have to learn to celebrate the failures. Before the first rocket landed on the moon, billions had been invested and gone to the dustbin, but there were many lessons being learned. And as Africans, generally, we don't appreciate that. We want to put 10 billion today, and tomorrow we have products which are coming out of the production line.
Right.
In technology, innovations don't work like that. So when we see a few examples like government has handheld Chira Motors Corporation, now it is started to manufacture some buses, but this has been since 2009. And we're in 2025. So that is how technology grows, and if we want to have domestic entrenched technologies that are going to transform the continent, government funding has to be there, and it has to be long term.
Right.
Yes.
Also speaks into mindset change as to how investments are made when it comes to matters engineering innovations.
Yes.
Now we are, in case you are just joining in, we are looking at advancing engineering for Africa's development, and in particular this is because 14th to 20th September will be the 11th UNESCO Africa Engineering Week and the 9th African Engineering Conference. Now I will stay with you, Engineer Abraham, and just for you to speak into the role of innovation of that the forum will play into innovation, and that is for the practical tech transfer, and how these innovations really scale beyond just the conference halls, but throughout, yes.
Oh, yes, in these innovations, what we are talking about in the room to scale beyond the conference, I believe one thing was talked about, because if we have all the discussions and the resolutions made, but these discussions and resolutions are never picked up by the policymakers and implementers, they will just state that resolutions on paper, Yes. So one of the things at that level, the conference level, that was made was to have a ministers forum for all ministers on the African continent in charge of science and technology, for them to come and have a time when we take them through what has been discussed and what has been resolved and what the proposals of what need to be done. And then the other thing, specifically in the country, the only way, a quick way to have resolutions implemented is to break them down into tangible interventions and action points. So science and technology is working together with engineering, and the different ministries, departments, and agencies that are directly involved in engineering.
Right.
All of them are being called, like the presenter was talking about. One of the audience members was asking about Ministry of Works. Yes, Ministry of Works is actually the parent ministry for the Institution of Professional Engineers. It is fully involved. So these MDAs have been invited, and they are going to be part of the conference to be able to pick up what has been resolved. And then at the science and technology level, STI works closely with the National Planning Authority. The National Planning Authority is the planning board of the country. It thinks and then breaks things down into actionable points, and then throws whatever each ministry and department is supposed to do, and then ensures that these interventions and actions are in the, for example, the National Development Plan, which guides the budgeting for the nation currently, in the plans of the different ministries and agencies. So, and SCI is working very closely and has a good relationship with the National Planning Authority, which is good at doing that, making ideas and resolutions actionable. So the loop has been tied in such a way that at least the biggest percentage of the resolutions, can be taken up at the ministerial level with the ministers, at the national level, breaking it down into actionables through NPA, and then at the different ministry and the department and agency level. So that is the chain which the conference is taking to make sure that these things don't stay on paper.
Yes,
Yes.
they're actually implemented.
Yes.
And it will kill the narrative that as Uganda, we have beautiful laws written on paper but never implemented, but instead by other countries. Indeed, this conference, from what you are saying, will be killing that narrative and bringing it out into the practical sense of it. Now, as we begin to bring this conversation to a close, let me come to you, Engineer Henry. What opportunities should Ugandan businesses or tech startups look forward to, as well as the academia, look forward to when it comes to this 1 week, 14th to 20th September?
Yeah, thank you, Julie. I think there is a lot. We may not even be able to exhaust all. First of all, I told you that we have the CEO Forum where they are going to discuss issues. They are going to present papers on the water utility, energy utility. We have local government engineers. So I think the benefit here, most of the startups, they have adults with policies. So this kind of forum is going to create this Africa Engineering Week is going to create a platform and an environment where we can interact freely with the ministers and then share things which are affecting us in growth. So that is number one. So that interaction is quite very important. And this is the space where you can have that happen, because these are people who are very busy, and this is where now we are bringing them together to discuss issues that are affecting engineering. Then we have the Deans of Engineering Forum, where we are going to have all the deans of different universities coming together. And then we try to have conversations. How do we change the education into a curriculum-based approach? How do we change? Because it's not very easy to change if we do not come into the conversation and we speak reality. So that will actually be a benefit where we shall have a mindset change and then integrate. Because we are looking at academia doing their work in the way they are supposed to do it, but they are feeding to the industry where we have to create a linkage. That whom are you producing for? If you produce graduates who are not needed by the industry, then we are going to keep on relying on the experts, and yet the population is growing, and crimes will come in because of unemployment issues. Networking is going to be one of the things where it can be your opportunity, a door for you to interact with investors, sounding investors all over Africa. Then the secondary students, they are going to benefit by interfacing with the professionals and get inspired. We are going to create an impact in the youngest generation to see what they study in class creating sense. We are going to have graduates. They are going to come and see the best innovators. They are going to interact with them. So this is where we are finding. But more to that, the benefits agreements are going to come on board. How do we move as a team on the African continent? Such that we do not move solely as Uganda. How do we move with Nigeria, Ghana? Because it is Africa. As much as we are talking about it, this is UIP is just hosting the Africa Engineering Conference, but we are bringing over 22 countries on board. So meaning that this is also an opportunity that a Ugandan company will be able to have partnership with other companies. You know, we have to have, it has to be very intentional that whatever we are going to display in form of exhibition, we are going to have very many exhibitions, innovators. You never know who can take you on, because we are solving Africa's serious challenges. Thank you very much.
Right, that is Engineer Henry, and we are bringing this conversation to a close. Thank you so much for being on. What we've been looking at really is advancing engineering for Africa's development. A lot has been there for me to learn, as well as you, I believe, for whom we bring these guests on this program. But above all else, high school students. Schools do not miss out on this opportunity. Are there numbers that schools are supposed to engage to at least know how they can coordinate the students coming to the conference, or how they can get in touch? Because
yes, we
with
have
schools, it comes with a process.
Yes, Julie, we have come up with a plan. We are in touch with the ED teachers,
right,
and the UIP has 8 branches. All the schools in various regions,
right,
they are going to be represented. So they will come, and they will even have an opportunity to be taken to various innovation hubs like Unipod, Makerere University, Rebitete. So we have a plan. It is very intentional to make the young generation be focused and understand that their time in school should result into a very serious impact to take this country at another level.
All right, thank you very much,
additionally,
gentlemen.
when you visit the website of Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers and the one of Science, Technology and Innovation, the information is there.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. With me in studio has been Engineer Dr. Abraham Mwanguzi, who is the Team Lead Policy and Planning at STI, OP, and Engineer Henry Mpuga, who is the Vice President, Membership Education and Training at UIPE Chairperson as well, and the AEW Innovation Forum. As we've been looking at advancing engineering for Africa's development, in focus and in light is the conference coming up on 14th to 20th September, which will be the 11th UNESCO Africa Engineering Week, at the same time the 9th African Engineering Conference. Be sure to be a part of it to think best and develop Uganda. My name is Julie Nantaba Musisi. Let's do this again tomorrow on Good Morning Uganda. Have a blessed day.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala, 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.